Good morning. Gariep Dam is overflowing again, and there's about 2,000 cubic flowing into Gariep, raising the level. It's gone up to, I think, 103%. We'll have a look in a moment. This was supposed to be a live stream, but my internet connection is not really up to it at the moment. I'll try and do one later today if possible. What I wanted to do was show you first, I don't have any of my own footage of Gariep Dam overflowing. The only footage that I found so far is this video from Thunderbolt's channel. Let's just show it from the beginning. So unfortunately it's vertical video, but it's showing the dam as it's overflowing right now. Now, we've seen higher flows of water upstream. Let's just get this on the screen again. We've seen higher flows of water upstream of Gariep, and we saw the prediction that it would go up to about 97%. And then I think yesterday or the day before I made a video, and then I just mentioned that it was going to overflow, and it's actually started overflowing. It's now at, but let's look at the actual numbers. This is going to be like a live stream because I'm going to jump from page to page, but I'll try and make it as smooth as possible. So we're looking at the Department Water Affairs site. I also have other sources, but they're not live feeds. I just verify the Department Water Affairs information as far as I can on them. Where we usually look, I want to show you this, is unverified data and forecasts. This usually shows you the data as they get it live, and then later on they verify it and they put it in the verified data. So this is, if you click on that, it'll show you rainfall. You just need to click on flow or stages. This is the Upper Vaal. This is supposed to show you the dams in the Upper Vaal River and level and outflow, but some of them are not nearly correct. For instance, the Volga is not flowing at 3,300 cubics. The Vaal Dam is at 66.6%, and we'll look at the dam itself now. The outflow from Vaal Dam is 18 cubics. Let's just look at the Vaal Dam itself. That appears to be correct, and it's indicating an inflow of 80 cubics, so it's slowly rising now. Not much, about 0.2%, I think, in the next 2 days, about 0.1% per day rising at the moment. Let's just go back to the middle Vaal where the Bloemhof Dam is. Outflow, it doesn't show Bloemhof Dam here. It shows the outflow from Bloemhof Dam at 18.6%. No, that's supposed, yeah, 18.6 cubic. But that's not what the dam itself tells us. The dam says 21 cubic outflow and the 97 cubic inflow, capacity 82%, also rising at about, let's just see there for 1 day. It was updated on the 30th yesterday. So that's about at 82.4, and in 3 days about 83.6. So 1.2 in 3 days, 1.2% rise in 3 days. So it's going up, inflow 97 cubic. And let's look at lower Vaal showing the subsidiary rivers, the Modder and Riet rivers. But I'm not seeing much by way of flow in those. The dams that it does show here is quite full. Spitskop is at 61, that's the lowest, but no big flows. Then the upper orange, the information showing here is not what it should look like. It's a lot of missing flows, a lot of stations not included. I don't know if they're even measuring those stations anymore. Let's see, it's not showing Van der Kloof Dam here, it's not showing Gariep Dam here. It's showing Van der Kloof at 100, no, at 1.4 Outflow van 'n kloof 1.4 cubic. That's not it. Let's just look at the lower orange before we move to those two dams themselves. So it's showing at Katlani 180 cubic. That's what was announced. They were going to release from Van der Kloof. Man, that dove is noisy. Orange at Blow Pitch 30 cubic. So I judged what we have here around 30 cubic. So that seems correct. Uppington is rising. So we'll start to see the river rising here in about 3 days, I think. 3-4 days. Let's look at those two dams, the Van der Kloof Dam, D3R2, that's the station number for the dam. If you're looking in the verified data, you need to enter the station number to get the data, but then you can get all the data from the beginning of that station's measurements. So Van der Kloof is at, the D3R2 is Gariep Dam. Doesn't say it on the page, you have to remember it. So Gariep Dam is at 102.2%, inflow is 2,100 cubic, so you can see the predicted inflow there going up to 105.5% about by the second. Well, by the first should be around 105%, that's quite high. That's a lot of water in Gariep. So there, I don't see the outflow. The outflow is showing what 468. So that means that they're actually generating electricity already. So they probably keep on generating electricity as long as it's overflowing, and that overflow is going to Van der Kloof. So they should have started, and now with a full capacity generation there already. They haven't. It's possible they have. This update has been on yesterday at 8:57. So it's possible that they've already started full generation capacity. It's showing here that they did from the 24th to the 25th, they ran it at full capacity for a while. If that measurement there is correct, not always sure it is. So one of the groups that that I get information from, supply information to the area, and they have mentioned that there has been a request from the boards below the dams to actually start generation earlier to lower the peak of flow, and that would be a good idea. You can already see the water going into Gariep. You know it's going to go into Van der Kloof as well. You know you're going to have it available for generation. You can calculate how much. 2,000 cubic going into Gariep, with Gariep already overflowing, means that 2,000 is going to overflow into Van der Kloof. So Van der Kloof is going to start filling up rapidly. Gariep's huge bulk of storage will lower the peak of the flow. So you don't see 2,000 cubic going into Van der Kloof unless there's more water coming in. But the total volume is going to be the same. That's going to go to Van der Kloof. So you can calculate exactly how much you're going to have, how long it's going to take to fill it up, even with full generation capacity. So unless, and I don't know that, I haven't seen it anywhere, unless they're again busy with some refurbishing or work or maintenance work on the turbines, which prevents them from starting all of them. They should have started by now with full capacity generation. So 2,000 cubic, we saw, I think 1,800, if I remember correctly, about 2-3 weeks ago, 1,800 cubic flow at Vaal Noord. And I think the Caledon is also now feeding in. Let's just look at those rivers again. There's another place where you can look at the rivers. Let's see if we can see the Caledon here. Caledon at Welbedag, 111%, outflow 74 cubic. That's not, those two numbers don't correlate. You can't be at 111% and with an outflow only of 74 cubic. That doesn't seem right. Like I said, not much we can actually trust on. And then if you have some numbers you can't trust, how do you know the other numbers, whether you can trust them or not? Let's have a look. If you look in this page at the Orange River itself, it's limited information that you see here, but it is more up to date. It correlates more with the numbers that are actually verified. So this is not updated recently. It's showing, where's my mouse now? It's showing 28th, so 2 days ago, 3 days ago, which means it's outdated. But you can see here at Oranje draai neer Aliwal Noord 1100 cubic, and then Vaal bedacht is showing there 473 cubic. So that will give you what 1600 cubic. That seems more realistic. It might have dropped a little bit by now. It's still showing Gariep there at 97%, but we know where it was as soon as this will update, probably tomorrow. Tomorrow is a holiday, I think. So probably the day after, then we'll have a better idea. I don't see anything else that is way off here. So the Orange River system is full, overflowing, and a lot of water on its way down. I'm saying a lot of water, not like flood levels, but we'll see high water here. In about 10 days from now, it's possible that no, not 10 days, it'll take a bit longer. Depends on how soon they actually start full generation. Could be about 15 days that Doringbaai might be cut off. I don't think it'll be cut off for long. And then let's get to some questions in the comments about the rivers. Questions and comments. People are saying that we will see high water again. I'm not so sure. I don't see it yet. My gut feel, and that's only a gut feel, no direct information that I'm working off, is that we're going into a dry period with El Nino. Still, I think it peaked around middle to end of December. They said it's going to collapse quickly. How much of an influence that's going to have, I'm not sure. We'll look in a moment. We'll look at what. I'll try and show you some of the older data just to get an idea of what we're heading towards. Just looking at the weather forecast, this is just thunder showers currently showing, thunderstorms, and this is on windy.com, it's the website. You can see it, I think you can see it at the top there. This is what it shows. I'll move it down a little bit. Windy, you see it at the top there. So this is showing over the next week the prediction for thunder showers, thunderstorms. And this is on Tuesday. In the afternoons it always develops some, but I'm not seeing huge amounts in the catchment area for the dams. I'll just jump from the afternoons to the afternoons there quickly so you get a quick picture of what it looks like. There's a bit more there. So Newcastle, Pretoria, some of the catchment area, Lesotho. I'm looking more at the Vaal catchment area now. I'm seeing some rains for Lesotho, which will keep the orange side of the river flowing. Some more into the interior there. And if we look at the accumulated rain for the next 5 days, I don't see that high of a volume. The highest is on the eastern side of Lesotho. Natal is getting most of the rain. That's about 60 millimeter there, 60. And in the catchment area of the Vaal side, not that much. So I still maintain, my gut feel tells me we're going into a dry period. How long the dry period is going to be, I don't know. It might be a season or two. So water conservation is going to be important in the next couple of, in the next year or two, I think. Again, my opinion only. Let's look at the next 10 days. We see a bit more, but even in 10 days, and that's usually an optimistic forecast if you're looking that long. The forecast volume usually reduces. That's 60 millimeters of rain up north. That's not, if I'm not mistaken, that's not really high. For the orange, which is already full, there's quite a bit of rains coming. But the Vaal Dam, I don't see filling up soon. So I don't see flood conditions, especially not from the Vaal side. High flows from the orange, yes. If we look at, let's see if I can pull that up quickly. If we look at, we'll get to that in a moment. Let me see if I can, just a moment, let me add. Give me a moment, sorry, sorry about the delay. I want to pull up to two things here. This specifically this. If you want to see a lot more about the older data, there's a video I put up about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, year and a half ago. 85 years of the Orange River. And I showed this, let me see, is it up yet? I showed this data there. And this shows for each year, the columns are the months from January till December. And it shows the high levels, which is green, flood levels, which is blue, and dry, low levels, which is the orange. And it's showing them, and you can see there's periods of 2 or 3 years at a time, which is fairly high flows, and then you have periods of 2 or 3 years at a time, which is fairly dry. And if you look at that pattern, that's what I'm basing my feeling of dry period on. And also just gut feel, I mean, what it feels like out here versus the previous years when we had the drought. If you farm in a veld like this, we don't farm with animals really, which means we don't really look at animal feed, but we have neighbors who farm with animals, so you're always updated to what's happening with the animals, with the veld. And we can see the klipspringers are having some tough times sometimes, and you can see that happening. So you know you're in a drought if you're in a city. If they have water restrictions, but in the city you're not going to feel much of a difference between a 70% dam level and a 99% dam level. While if you're out in the veld, you see it much more directly. Let's get that away. So just to recap, weather, I see some rains coming. We saw some rain until yesterday in the catchment area in the Koga. So I'll see if as soon as I get an update on the Gariep Dam, whether that's risen. I'm sure there's a little bit more water going into Gariep Dam right now, but it's close to full, about 97%, I think. So that's not a concern. What did I want to do? This is just a picture I took the other day. No, that's not what I wanted to show. Not doing it on a live stream, it feels like I feel quite relaxed, so maybe I should there, that was the weather. This was just a video I took yesterday, day before yesterday, when we had a little bit of rain, not much, like 4 millimeters it was, in about an hour's time, spread out a little bit, and between two buie, what's a buie in Engels? Anyway, between the two separate occasions of rainfall, I sent the drone up quickly, had a look around what the clouds look like, just to see whether more is coming. The direction that the drone is pointing in now is where our rain comes from. That's the west. And there were still some clouds behind the mountains, but it was clearing up. We didn't expect much more rain than that. So whether we are going to have a wet year, we're going to see some water in the river. I don't expect it to go very high. I expect the dams to fill up. It will help with electricity generation. I think they'll run the turbines for a month or two. I don't think we'll have that much more rain beyond that. I could be wrong. I'm not. My crystal ball is not that clear to see into the future. It's just a gut feel based on what we're currently experiencing. That vehicle in the background is someone checking the irrigation system on the date trees, and let me just switch myself off here. I think, yeah, you can still hear the audio, just so you can see the video better. So we're still irrigating even though we had 4 or 5 millimeters of rain yesterday. That's not nearly enough to change your irrigation schedule for. There was another one that I took, this one. That was after the second, after we had our second bout of rain, and that's when it started clearing up. I'm still seeing some clouds on the horizons right now, but it's basically disappearing at this stage, and the forecast for the next couple of days is really hot. That's the Egyptian geese you're hearing in the background there, in the date trees. They're always going there when the irrigation is running. So there's one more video. I made a mistake on video I put up on YouTube, and I just want to correct that mistake. I put up the video, you would have seen it there. This is a bergadder, which was identified by someone as a desert bergadder. I identified it as a bergadder, that's how I know it, but I was unsure at the stage, and I thought it was a horing adder. I even changed the title in the video to horing adder, but I need to change it back. It's actually a desert bergadder.
There's a bit of a storm brewing up here.
Let's just go back to that. So that was, I just found it walking up a mountain. I walked up the mountain for the same reason I sent the drone out. It's just to have a better view around me to see whether we have a more rains inbound. There was, let me just for a moment, sorry. I know the video is basically done, but I'm in my live stream mode, so I'm rambling on. On the video, on this video specifically, let me just see where it's pointing. The direction that it's moving into now, you will see some, what do they call it, a squall of rain, or what's it called, rainbow. And I know I'm struggling with the English, and I know a lot of people have told me to ditch the English. No, not this one, this is the wrong one. Is it this one? No, it's not this one, it's the other one. I can't really ditch the English. Too many people watching are English, friends, family. Let me just move it to, I want to move it to here. You can see some heavy rains falling. That was here. No, I didn't do a full 360 on this one, unfortunately. I did. Right there. There you can see some heavy rains in the distance. Anyways, that's it for the video. I'll do an actual live feed a little bit later on where I can have some interaction with you, some chats about questions you have and other things. That's it for this video. Gonna stop it here. See you on the next one. Cheers.